Okay, hi everyone. I'm just going to do a quick video here, something I just found. I'm going to try to keep it quick, not an hour like last time. But it's this article by RT. Canada, it has to do with propaganda. Canada red-faced after doctored space equipment image appears on government websites. So, this is the image, or that's not the image, hold on. The Canadian government has had to urgently remove from its agency's websites a photo of Canadarm2, its contribution to space exploration, after it was discovered that the country's name and its flag had been airbrushed on space equipment. So this proves that they are doctoring photos. I don't know who doctored it. I guess I'll read this to you. The original picture was taken during a spacewalk in 2005 and shows astronaut Stephen Robinson. Or Robinson? Okay, here's the photo, okay? Here's the logo in question. That is apparently real, that one down there. But here's the original photo. Boom. Okay, so someone doctored this. It says apparently the Canadian government didn't realize the photo was a fake. It used it on a number of its websites to highlight the country's achievements. The photos have been since taken down after the mistake was outed. It wasn't supposed to be used in any public way. Who cares? Someone's doctoring the photos. So either it was NASA, which is what I'm going to get into, how Canada is roped in under banking treaty under Congress, U.S. Congress. That's what the whole point of this is. I wanted to show you that. So almost every time there's an image taken, it has Canada clearly labeled on this. So if you've managed to snag a photograph that doesn't have it clearly on there, go back into the archives and find one that you like. You don't have to go and doctor it. That's just, to me, cheap and cheesy. And then my favorite thing about this article, which I will post in the links, is if you go to the bottom, you guys are going to love this. So, silver here. +10. I wanted to thumb it up, but you have to sign in and create an account, and I'm not doing that. So maybe it's to go with the 9 bullet holes clearly visible in the Google April 2013 virtual tool of Canada's Parliament. That's so awesome. So if you don't know about the Ottawa shooting hoax, where they try to say that the 9 bullet holes in the alcove of that little spot in Parliament is they're trying to pass it off as Vickers pulled a Matrix move and shot at it. That Google image was there April 2013. So go to Free Radio Revolution, Jeff C's channel, to see lots of videos on that and how that is being passed off as the bullet holes just happened. It's just so laughable. I'm sorry. Okay, so given this, I wanted to show, some people were asking about how Canada propaganda, I said that that propaganda was made legal by Obama in a bill in 2011, but they've always done propaganda. They don't even go by their own laws anyway, but I wanted to show how Canada was tied into that anyway, even if it says, oh, I should have gotten that link. Here it is. I did get it. Hello, I'm on the ball today. Another RT, but this is just telling you, I mean, I could go find the real NDAA Act, but this was in 2013. Congress approves domestic deceptive propaganda, okay? So they made it legal. I want to make a distinction between legal and lawful. Legal is legalese. Lawful are laws. They're different. So Congress made propaganda legal. And people were asking, well, how's Canada tied into that? Canada's a different country. Well, it's not really. Canada is tied in because, first of all, the Broadcasting Board of Governors is I'm on the About page here, and you can go see down here. First of all, Canada is tied in via banking treaty under Congress. Okay, Congress is in control here. The Committee on Foreign Relations in the Senate and the Committee on Foreign Affairs in the House have jurisdiction, that's legal jargon for we have control, over non-military U.S. international broadcasting. That includes RT, Cuba, India, see, as you can see here, all these radio, Cuba, Office of Cuba Broadcasting, Free Radio Asia, Middle East Broadcasting Networks, Voice of America, Europe, Radio Liberty. It's all written in their legalese, and we're not, it's hard to understand, but so non-military U.S. international broadcasting. And the way that I think this works is that, you know, let's say the TV stations across the world, they have a person that's like a U.S. guy in each of those outlets that is on the same agenda and that follows the policies right here, see? The Committees of Appropriations of the House and Senate appropriate funds for U.S. international broadcasting on an annual basis and provide program and policy guidance. Program and policy guidance, which basically means, you know, you go by our policies and our programs. So they put their people in each of the papers and the TV station around the world, and those people have to go by those written policies and guidance, right? That's how all of it can be roped under Congress. This is my understanding of it anyway. Or direction for the use of appropriated funds. These committees also have oversight authority over BBG programs. Now, look who's on, look who's on this board, okay? Okay, we have here on the Broadcasting Board of Governors, we have John Franken Forbes Carey. We have Ambassador Ryan Crockershit. We have Michael P. Meehan. A lot of trouble if people find out you've been lying to them. We have Matthew Armstrong. Can't come up with one for him. Jeffrey Schill. We have Kenneth. Want some cheese to go with your Weinstein. Okay, so this is the board. Okay, and they oversee the program and the policies. Okay. Next, we have, I want to show you where Canada is roped in under Congress and how whatever they tell you, okay, we've made propaganda legal here, it applies to Canada too, because Canada is part of the Confederation. And a Confederacy here, in criminal law, this is from Black's Law Dictionary, okay? So this is their own definitions. In criminal law, the association or banding together of two or more persons, and the definition of a person is a corporation, by the way. I can show you that after if you want, or you can just go by my word. For the purpose of committing an act or furthering an enterprise which is forbidden by law, or which, though lawful in itself, becomes unlawful when made the object of the Confederacy. Conspiracy is a more technical term for this offense. The act of two or more who combine together to do any damage or injury. Injury means in and jure, which is in law, so to bring into law. Any damage or injury to another, or to do any unlawful act. Okay, Confederacy, they're criminals, unlawful. Okay, here's some more definitions. I know this looks really cheap and cheesy, but what they've taken this from, well, this is from a dictionary, but you want to get it from Law Dictionary, which is Bouvier's is a law dictionary. Here's another law dictionary. And Black's Law. I just showed you the one from Black's Law. But confederate, united in a league, allied by treaty. This is important because my understanding is that a treaty is an agreement between two banks. Then we start to get into admiralty law. Two banks on the side of the Sea of Commerce. The treaty ties them together. And that's how Canada is under Congress's rules and stuff, because they're tied together via banking treaty. But they're tied together by the Confederacy, engaged in a confederacy, okay? Confederation. The act of confederating, a league. It's kind of the same thing as the League of Nations. They tried to pass off the League of Nations, but the people back then in the, 20s or 40s or whatever it was, they weren't having it. So they changed it into the New World Order. That's what they started calling it too. But it's the League of Nations. A compact for mutual support, alliance, particularly of princes, nations, or states. The three princes enter into a strict league or confederation. Okay, I think you have the idea here, the United States and Canada, because I will show you here. This is the Articles of Confederation, March 1st, 1781. You go down here and it says, the style of this confederacy, unlawful action, shall be the United States of America. That's what they called it. Okay, what is a style? Here's the definition of a style. And I should be going to Black's Law Dictionary to look this up, but for this presentation, I think this is probably okay. Or this is sufficient, actually. So it's a set or series of steps for crossing a fence or a wall, a turnstile. Okay, so, and down here's a good one here. Before the year 900, Middle English, Old English, this is good. A step or steps for scaling a wall or fence, a turnstile. Where's the one that's like a ladder? Here. A step, this is used in agriculture, okay? This gets into the farming. You know how they have us all on, they have us all as basically sheep citizens on a farm. That's another video though, but basically this is getting into it in agriculture. The way they traffic us around as sheep, basically, as things. A set of steps or rungs in a wall or fence to allow people but not animals to pass over. This one's very interesting. Okay, so you get the idea. A style is kind of like a, you know, the style you go through on the subway, that thing where it turns around and it's like rungs. It's a set of actions, okay? So we get into back of what this definition of this here is, the style of this confederacy. So it's a series of steps of actions. The United States of America is a series of acts by Congress. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, right? It's not, it's like, it's all on paper. It's like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Okay, so the style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. So what that is it's not a government, it's not a lawful government, it's a corporation that is basically a chain of events. So Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, it's a series of congressional acts, ACT, acts. So you go down here to number 11. You should read all this. It's not that long. And you can see number 11 here. Canada, acceding to this confederation and adjoining in the measures of the United States. Each of these words has a special meaning in their law dictionaries. Adjoining in the measures of the United States shall be admitted into and entitled to all the advantages of this union, but no other colony shall be admitted into the same, unless such admission be agreed to by 9 states. Okay, so that's how Canadians have long sort of had the thought that we were just the state's little brother or sister, or like we are basically the same thing. Well, this is it. We are the same thing. We are our own corporation. Canada is listed on the DC Stock Exchange as a corporation. You'll find it there. I suppose I could provide that link too. But it is tied via banking treaty into this confederation. They are in league. Okay, and just of special note, if anyone's interested, number 12 here, this is where they pledged you as assets against the debt, Congress's debt. See, if you'll notice, it's all banking. These are all banking words. This is where you get into Templars, and you know how the Templars were the first ones that started banks, and banking and law are very much tied together, okay? So all bills of credit emitted, monies borrowed, and debts contracted by or under the authority of Congress before the assembling of the United States in pursuance of the present Confederation shall be deemed and considered as a charge against the United States. So to me, that's what that is saying, is all the Federal Reserve notes that we use, all the debts everyone has, all the monies borrowed, all the credit, all the bills of credit, all that is considered a charge against the United States for payment and satisfaction whereof the said United States and the public faith are hereby solemnly pledged. Okay, here it is right here. The public faith. Now you have to go look up what the word faith means and what the public faith is. That means you and me are faith in the monetary system. It's us using the FRN notes, Federal Reserve notes, money, debt notes, using them in faith. It means the credit where we're using it. Are hereby solemnly pledged. So they pledged us. They went bankrupt in 33, but in order to keep continuing to act, to be able to act, and they passed their acts. You'll see the acts passed. They needed to pledge something of value. The only thing of value left is you and me and our ability to labor our whole lives, because the only thing of worth in this world is human beings' energy. So our ability to work and create things is the only thing. Gold is not worth anything. Silver, rocks, Federal Reserve notes, $1,000 bills, $1 bill, none of that's inherently worth anything. The only thing really of worth is our labor. So what they did was they took our labor, made it as a concept, like and they pledged it against the debt, and that's what all the banking and the court things, like the court suits, are about. Every time you go into a court, you're being used to offset congressional debt. It's kind of complicated, and I barely understand it myself. I'm trying to explain it so that others can look into it for themselves, okay? So don't take anything I say as just, you know the drill. Take it and run with it yourself and go look into it. I'm telling you my understanding, and then you can go look into it yourself. So let's go look up the word faith here. I just have, this is chooseyourside.org, but I have written some of the Bouvier's or Black's Law definitions here. So faith, okay? A lot of it has to do with banking and law. So banking, though, a lot of it's banking. Faith, confidence, credit, reliance. Thus, an act may be said to be done on the faith of certain representations, belief, trust. Thus, the Constitution provides that full faith and credit shall be given to the judgments of each state in the courts of the others. Purpose, intent, sincerity, state of knowledge or design. This is the meaning of the word in the phrases good faith and bad faith. In Scotch law, a solemn pledge or an oath. To make faith is to swear, with the right hand uplifted, that one will declare the truth. Okay, so you can see this is kind of like I was describing, or my understanding of it anyway. It could be, I mean, I'm sure there's more to it, because I'm always learning this stuff, you guys. So, but credit and an oath, a solemn pledge. So when this Confederacy here said all the bills and the money and the debt was pledged under the authority of Congress, and the public faith, that means our belief in the money system, is pledged. They pledged you and me to offset their own debt. Okay, I think that's it for this video. Oh, I also wanted to show you this. This is a good link here. I will post it on the video. But this is the hierarchy of the law, okay? So I posted this in a room earlier today. I'm sure most people don't know what are the categories of the laws. At this point, you may or may not have known that there is more than one type of law. In fact, there are different types of law, from Roman law, Canadian law, English law, ecclesiastic law, Scotch law, tax law, blue laws, etc. and so forth. Most laws, however, fall into one of 5 categories, and these categories are not all equal. In fact, they form a fairly clear hierarchy, and it is to your advantage to operate in the highest level of law you possibly can. What are these categories? Here they are as follows from highest to lowest. Okay, so political law, I don't even know what that is actually, but statutory law, I know is their acts and statutes and codes. That's legalese crap. Common law, a lot of people and a lot of the free men out there are getting stuck on that, but is my understanding that, well, first I'll say this is the lowest form of law, okay? They've got everyone stuck in this crap. We're going to pass this bill that it's legal to propagandize. We're going to pass this bill that says you have to fingerprint this and you have to do that. That is the lowest form of law. And they've got everyone stuck right in there. So they've got people fighting over each other to get them to change these laws. But look at how much power we have if we go up here. If you start operating up here, you can hold them accountable because this is below. So it's all a matter of jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is who has control of you. Okay? So common law, that is stare decisis. That deals with precedents. But that's kind of a form of, my understanding is communism, because all it does is brings in another authority over you and goes and looks at prior judges' decisions saying, well, that's, has happened before and we decided this and therefore we're going to decide that for you. And to me, that's ridiculous. Why would I want my own personal case decided by some idiot that, that decided that slavery was legal or lawful back when, right? That's ridiculous. So case precedence is retarded. Anyone can quote that. Haha. Okay, so then we come to admiralty law. This has to do with pirating on the seas of commerce. A lot of you talked about barges on the sea and how they're like offshore. That's kind of how they get around not being on the land. I think there was a story of like a pirate that built his bridge from his ship across a whole country. So he was technically, in their psychopathic lawful law minds, he was still on his ship. So you see how they can use these laws to get around doing the right thing, or in my mind, doing God's law. Okay? So this is Templars, pirating, banking law, Banks are two banks on the two sides of the river or the sea of commerce. That's where you're birthed from your mother's canal at the dock to the doctor in the hospital, which is a receiving point where they bring you right in via your birth certificate and the legal name right into Admiralty law. Okay? Oh, geez, I'm at 11 minutes already. This is crazy. Okay, and then the top here is natural law, and that is God's law, or I shouldn't even teach on this because I'm not fully sure. I just know that it's the highest form. It's I'm not sure if canon law and all that ecclesiastical law is, if that's what they're talking about here. But there's canon law and ecclesiastical law, and then you start getting into the scriptures and biblical law and even the 10 Commandments, but there's some debate on that, whether the 10 Commandments is that because apparently Moses was a judge, and that's not God's law, right? That's just a man's law. So that, to me, that wouldn't be God's law. But there are some people that do go by that because they swear on the Bibles in the courts. So that's where people start to branch off, and there are people fighting in this branch. They're trying to do liens on each other and go into UCC and all that sort of stuff. But then there's people who go higher and they only swear by the Bible, and they say it says in the Bible, that's my law, and then they go by that. Then we start getting into Talmudic law, which apparently the courts are based on as well, and Roman law, which I know says that... Oh, got a text. So Roman law says winner takes all, and I know that we are under that right now, Roman law, because that means there's one king, and the one king right now is, well, it was Congress. Things are changing now, apparently, behind the scenes, and Rome is burning, and this is a good thing, but under Roman law there's one winner, and that's where that whole New World Order thing comes in. It means there's one government, one religion, one... So I'm just musing on what I understand here. So, okay, and then even higher than that to me is natural law, is God's law, is in, I believe it's written on our hearts. I believe it's oral, because written law used to be an abomination. Oh crap, I got less than a minute. And I think I'm going to end it there. So if anyone's interested in this law stuff, whether you're interested in learning about these ones, or whether you're interested in the ecclesiastical, more spiritual path like me, let me know, and I can give you some more information, or introduce you to people who know stuff, and take a look at this link and just read it over and see what you think. So, and I also wanted to say that my intent for making these videos is not to say to everyone that I have the answers, or I have the truth, or I know it all. My intent is to give people as much information as I can and help them move beyond where I feel they might be stuck in trying to change, like, down on statutory law level, getting all upset about the laws that the government is passing, and trying to change that, because I do believe that time is short, and that we do need to stand together, and that if, like, getting all upset about the laws that they're passing, I believe that it might get you stuck in a place where you can't do anything, because you're never ever gonna win at that legalese game. You're never gonna, you can't vote them out. They just replace each other like flies. It's a system that is meant to do what it's doing. You can't change that system. The system of the courts and the banking and law and everything is set up to do exactly what it's doing. Offset congressional debt, and you can't vote people into power that are going to administrate you better as an object. Unless you want to be a slave and an object, and you're okay with a master telling you what to do. And the problem is, a leader. I had this discussion with my family. A leader is one thing. A leader, at least, acknowledges that they are on the same level as you, and that's a maxim of law. We're all equal under the law. So that's one thing, a leader. But these people are not leaders. They're psychopathic criminals that are selfish, and they're using you to offset debt. They're using us as objects. And they don't have humanity's best interest at heart. So to vote them out and vote others back into the system, which is designed to traffic us as on a farm as animals, then I don't understand why people would fight that. So what my intent here is to try to give you another view that we all need to stand together, come out of her, my people, and go above these statutory, common, and admiralty laws, and start operating from a position of power, which is ingrained in us, humanity, and start going by laws that are higher, that starts holding them accountable and doing no harm. And I do believe that we can't get stuck in that in statutory land, because all you have to do is shift your focus and see that we can be sovereign. And if it's I don't vote. I haven't voted in years, and if it's too scary to completely step out of the system, I understand that too. Maybe not get a license or stuff like that. And there's certain things we need to do to be able to survive in this system, because we're all caught in it, and we're still deciphering what's true and what's not, and what's real and who's on our side. I know that's personally my experience. But I do believe we need to give each other this information that I'm trying to give you, in order for those who understand it. I believe those who understand it will feel it in their heart that what I'm saying, something will twig there, and we need to stand together against this beast, because we do have strength in numbers. I don't believe we should stand together to try to change their stupid statutory laws. I don't believe that. I think we need to stand together, and like they're doing in England and stuff, that people are gathering when these bailiffs are coming to unlawfully evict them from their houses. The townspeople are banding together and standing together in front of the guy's house, and like making these bailiffs go away. Like, I have that vision in my head. We need to stand together as sovereigns and support each other in that way. And that's what I'm trying to do with my videos. I just wanted to make my intent clear with this. Okay, everyone? So thanks for listening.